Welcome to Real Estate U with Lettiann.
Am I going to introduce you today?
I'm the guest.
All right. This is a behind-the-scenes inside look at Lettiann. And in case you're wondering who I am, I'm one of the producers here on the show.
What show is that?
It's Real Estate U with Lettiann.
Indeed.
Have you seen it?
I have.
You should tune in. You should tune in. It is the premier real estate podcast on the internet.
That's what you tell me.
Yeah. I see now what it's like. All I'm seeing is sort of like down to your nose, behind this guard here. Anyway.
Welcome to my world.
Thank you so much. So typically on the show, you're interviewing other people about, different aspects of real estate. And you don't ever have someone on this side of the table asking you questions. And so we're going to give people a closer look at you and hear a little bit more about your business philosophy, some experiences that you haven't had a chance to share yet. And also, look at us. We're accompanied by an ensemble of wines. Can you tell me about these wines?
So I'm a winemaker.
Okay.
About 10 years ago, I thought, I really want to make wine. Growing up, my Aunt Letty, who I'm named after, my Aunt Letty had neighbors who made wine. We're an Italian family. So often she'd just have this, bottle with no label and say, Dominic brought this over. We gave him some vegetables. I mean, it was just really cool stories. And I thought, bucket list, I want to make wine. So in 2015, I started making my first varietal, which was a Nebbiolo grape from Italy that inevitably turned into a Barolo, which you'll see the first red label closest to you. That's Burgundy. That's one? Red, yep.
Okay, and this one is?
So it's a 2015 Barolo.
Okay.
It's called Lettiann's Private Reserve. And as you'll notice from some of these labels, the label is probably as important to me as the contents of the wine. So the bucket list, making wine, was really fun. I learned a lot. There's a local supply company, Bacchus and Barley, here in the Kansas City Metro that not only will guide you through making wine with their staff, meaning like you can call them for advice, but they also bring in grapes from California once a year. It's typically in September.
Yeah.
So in the past few Septembers, I've been getting some Sauvignon Blanc grapes.
Yeah.
I also, the Zinfandel on the end bottle closest to you, those were grapes brought in from the Lodi region of California. I don't have a grape press, so they pressed the grapes for me.
You don't do it with your feet?
People still do that, evidently, but I am too much of a germaphobe, so I didn't do that.
Yeah.
And it seems very awkward. And I don't. What do you do in the bathtub? How many people do you call?
How
long
if you
does
fall
it
over?
take?
Do you have to start all over again?
Right.
You don't want that to happen.
Right. Do you have to pull your hair back? No, I let them press the grapes for me. And so the Zin and the Sauvignon Blanc are from actual grapes from California. The others were wine kits that you can obtain. What I learned about, and again, it's all about sugar and converting sugar to alcohol and timing and yeast. And, if you're busy, you can't miss a day if your yeast is ready to go.
Right.
So you almost have to set timers to some degree, like if you were smoking meats. And it turned out to be, it's a wonderful experience. Our children love the wine.
Yeah.
They're all over 21. And it was fun, and I did it. But it's very time consuming, and now I'm knee deep in real estate, and now we're just enjoying the wine. I have several kits ready to fire.
Speaking of enjoying the wine, are we just going to sit here and look at these, or are we going to crack one open?
Fire one up. Which one would you like? Do you want to try the Barolo?
Yeah, why don't we try that one? That was the one that you mentioned first.
Okay.
This is the signature classic, is it?
Yes, it is.
All
right. There are only a few bottles remain. Often people ask me if I sell it. I don't sell it. That's called bootlegging. But
that beautiful label right there. Do you have the corkscrew?
Fumble.
Where is it?
Fumble. It was here.
Maybe we're just not supposed to drink this. Oh,
yeah, here it comes.
There's one.
Oh, our prop director just threw that in.
Thank you,
Joshua.
Yeah, Joshua's back there providing the props. Whatever you ask for, he probably has one.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You ask for a gas can, he'll throw one of those. He just pulls
He's
it
got
out of his
everything back
screen.
there. I know.
Yeah.
So, yes, please do.
Okay.
So they all mean something, the labels. For example, this 2033 was actually
Yeah.
our house number. Often people think it's a year when to drink it or when bottled. I'm like, it's not 2033 yet. Evidently wasn't bottled then because
Yeah.
we're not there yet.
You're so forward thinking that even your wines are futuristic.
That's right.
That's what you should put on the label.
Yeah.
That's free.
So it's a Tuscan blend because we're a blended family, and my husband and I were married 7 years ago in 2013. So all of our children and the family were blended at this house.
Yeah.
So it's where our blend began. So that's
see.
really a lot of fun. And that's a Tuscan blend.
Here we go. Let's hear the pop here. That was a good one.
That was great.
That could be, like how Gary Vee has his own little
Gary Vee. I love
sound
Gary Vee.
thing. Oh, by the way, this kind of does look like Gary Vee's.
If you don't know
podcast.
Gary Vee, please get to know Gary Vee. He's just a great guy. Gary called me.
Yes.
You're about to ask me that.
Yeah.
He just made a neighborly call, checking in on my winemaking.
As he does on
Not
a regular
true.
basis.
Yeah. Gary has a company called Empathy Wines, and it's farmer to consumer, and it's really incredible wines at an incredible price. So he's got red, rosé, white, and I'm missing one. Help me. Red, rosé, white. I think there's might be one more, but they're absolutely fabulous. I'm actually a subscriber to Gary Vee's Empathy Wines. I think it's empathywine.com. Check it out for Gary Vee. Hoping to meet Gary at Molly's for a Lagavulin one chilly evening in New York.
He's already said yes, he'd do it.
I just have to find him.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. Whoa.
Thank you. Okay, so what am I paying attention to here on this first sip?
Well, first you're going to smell with your mouth closed. And then you kind of filled these full, Andy, but I won't. That's okay. So we would swirl if we were able to without spilling. So we want to get a little air in there.
I got enthusiastic.
Let's get a little air in there without going crazy.
Yeah.
Now, deep breath in and out through your mouth.
I'm getting. Let's see if I can nail what all of the tones are, the notes.
Before you do that, let's take a little sip.
Okay.
And then swish it around in your mouth. Like that. Make the noise.
It's good. Getting notes of blackberry.
Yep.
And perhaps a suggestion of gooseberries.
What about, what's schnozberries?
Schnozberries.
No schnozberries.
Yeah.
But maybe a little cherry.
Yeah.
Maybe a little tobacco.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah.
And I'm making some of this shit up. So.
I like it. It's nice.
It's fabulous.
Now, I'm not a big wine drinker or wine connoisseur, but would you say that has a short finish?
Sure.
Yeah, it has a short finish, everybody, in case you're wondering.
Yes, it has a short finish.
Okay. Yeah, great.
You can never know everything about wine, and I don't pretend to know everything about wine. I just like wine.
Yeah.
And if you think about the roots of wine and where it came from and out of the ground and how does it get in the bottle and what's in the bottle.
Yeah. What would you do if like a legit wine distributor saw this and they're like, "Hey, we'd like to talk to you about," would you be interested? They're like,
of course, if someone's interested in something I'm doing, I definitely want to share about it.
And this is how it all began, folks. You're watching it. This is how it all began.
I'll be moving to New York soon. No,
Right.
No. Well, that likely wouldn't happen, but if it would, that would be wonderful. But these are not my wines. I have two organic, meaning the grapes came directly fresh from California.
Yeah.
The others are wine kits. So in an effort to fully disclose, go out and make some wine or make some beer. If you're in the Kansas City area, I strongly encourage you to visit Bacchus and Barleycorn. They can help you learn how to make beer, make cheese, and make wine. What else is there?
Now is the time, isn't it? Speaking of Gary Vee, we were talking earlier on about a video I saw of his, and he was talking about, like, if peanut butter and jelly is your thing, like, now is the time. Like, start posting about peanut butter and jelly, and you're playing the long game. So, like, in 10 years... you're going to have something of real value there, but do what you're passionate about. And that's one of the things that we admire about you, is that you're so passionate about real estate? Actually, you're passionate about everything you put your hand to. You really go for it. Why do you think? What do you think about that? Like about passion and vocation? Like, why is it important to be passionate about the thing that you're doing for a living? Because you love real estate, right?
I love real estate for a lot of reasons, but real estate is such a broad term. Is it commercial? Are you renting? Are you an investor? So real estate is very broad. I'm more dialed into the consumer and the consumer experience for real estate, as well as their journey when they're involved in real estate, which is typically every 7 to 10 years.
Yeah. Well, okay. What made you fall in love with real estate in the first place?
If we pulled out my book, I'm an author of a book called Homes That Cook. The first sentence of the book is, I love to sell stuff. I've always loved to sell stuff.
You're a born entrepreneur.
I believe I was.
Yeah.
I believe I was.
Yeah.
I'm not a 9-to-5er. I'm an anytimer. I'm a horrible sitter. I'm a doer. If there's some stagnant time, I really don't know what to do. So I'm not good. My kids will tell you, my husband will tell you. One time I sat down and watched a half-hour show on TV, and my son couldn't believe it. He's like, "Oh my God, Mom, I've never seen you sit down. I've never seen you sit down."
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm busy work. Like I got to go do the laundry, and I got to do here, and I got to like I'm a busy and wiping and things like that. It's I give it all.
Yeah.
And then I'm a horse to the barn at night.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that, you're so social. You're always talking to everybody. Yeah, I talk all day long. So at night, I'm a
Just
horse
crash.
to the barn.
Yeah.
And I just like being home. I like being in the quiet, hang out with my husband.
Yeah.
And,
yeah. But during business hours, you're like a dog on the back of a meat truck. You're just like up for it.
I'm so up for it. It's really crazy.
Yeah.
Because I'm really excitable. I can go from 0 to 60 in a great way or the other way.
Yeah.
Really.
So what is it for you then? I mean, like, obviously, closing day is exciting, but is it just as exciting to you to, take buyers on a tour of a home and for them to be like, this is the one? Like, what is it for you? Like, what is the pinnacle moment for you in the process?
It's overcoming the 55 obstacles during the journey of a seller and a buyer.
You're a problem solver.
Right.
And what do you always say about that?
We real estate professionals, we realtors, full-time realtors, solve problems for a profit. And we know how to solve those problems.
Yeah.
And if we can't solve them, we know who to call to help us solve them. It's not Guido, don't freak out. But
can we say that?
I do know. Well, I'm Italian.
Yeah,
it's like
you
talking
can.
about
Oh, yeah,
myself.
you can. Yeah,
I totally can say that.
Yeah.
The closing table is nice, but I'm more excited for them at the closing table. So it's the beauty of the closing table because all the relief and all of that weight is off the buyer or seller.
Right.
But my happy times come when we've just gotten over the obstacle of there's 2 layers on the roof of the house I want to buy. So there's some challenges. And then, something came back with a pool inspection.
Yeah.
So we guide people through the process because buying and selling residential real estate is an emotional roller coaster, not for an investor, but humans who are buying and selling homes. And as someone so beautifully said on one of our podcasts, Jason Hartman, we'll always need food, water, and shelter. Food, water, and shelter. They're the basic necessities that will never go away. So that was profound for Jason, so simply said, but like that's resonated for me.
Yeah. That
I'm going to keep on keeping on with the houses because we'll always need houses. We want to keep the humanity in houses because online, buying and selling with someone you've never spoke to in your life, that's coming. It hasn't yet come to the Midwest, and that's called iBuyer. If you're out there, iBuyer has not come to the Kansas City area unless something happened in the last week. And we hope they stay away for a while because we like humans doing transactions. Should all humans be doing transactions? No. Because you need to know your business. You need to be an expert in your field.
Right.
And you had started to say, what did you say? And I was going to say it's about having a niche. You know, the peanut butter, your peanut butter analogy.
Yeah,
So Gary
peanut butter and
said,
jelly,
okay,
yeah.
if you're into peanut butter and jelly, start now, laser focus.
Yeah.
Talk about peanut butter and jelly for the next 10 years.
Right.
But that's a laser focus.
Yeah.
So the peanut butter and jelly guy isn't trying to throw in a marshmallow and then, well, let's mix in some graham crackers. I mean, that might be the case, but my point is, have a niche.
Yeah.
Do what you do and do it well.
Yeah.
If you're trying to please everybody all the time, you're a people pleaser, but you're not a problem solver and you're not
Yeah.
an expert in your field.
I feel like for you, if it wasn't real estate, it would be some other thing for you that you would just be like, you're a problem solver, like at the heart of what you do, at the heart of your process, it's solving problems for people. And so it just happens to be real estate. Jason Hartman didn't say coffee as well, did he? I feel like he's missing a fourth necessity there.
Coffee. Well, what about wine? But anyway.
Yeah. You're not even drinking your own wine.
It's
You're sipping it.
I am.
Like a lady.
I don't want to hit the...
She's a fancy lady. Ladies and gentlemen. Look at that.
I mean, yeah, that's really good. I mean, that is really good.
It's a great wine.
We'll get Joshua to try it if he wants to too. But I mean, you never know. I mean, would you know that was a homemade wine?
Not at all. No.
And
if I was just ordering a glass of wine, I mean, and I don't drink very often, like I was saying, but if I ordered this at a restaurant, I would say like, oh, that's awesome, and I would encourage my wife to have one too. Like, hey, you should try this. This is really good. I think you'll like it.
Well, I told you, no, this is the Barolo that we're drinking was bottled in 2015.
How do you bottle a wine? Like, how do you do that? Do you have a funnel and you just sort of...
Well, there's a siphon involved. There's a lot of equipment involved, which is now in a good, nice big chunk of my lower level. But it's really cool. You get Italian carboys, which is where the magic happens. And then you have a fermentation bucket first.
Yeah.
Then you siphon all that into these carboys, 5 and 6 gallon carboys. And then it's really an interesting process to watch. And it's like you made something.
Yeah.
And I love to cook. So I love when, we cook something and it turns out well and it's like, the little things in life.
The personal satisfaction.
So, and these wines are really good, and there's no but. The wines are great. The longer a red sits, the better it's going to taste.
Yeah.
So, and the folks that were guiding me, and there was no winemaking class. They literally help you hand in hand, like one-on-one, call them and things like that. They said, make the wine, stick it in a bottle. Of course, they didn't know I was going to do caps, which most people don't do caps. And I did this in a hurry, this one.
They say capped wine is just as good as, corked wine. Would you agree with that? Or do you think that it's missing?
I meant these the cap covers.
Oh, okay.
I like to make them pretty because if I want to give it as a gift, it's ready to go.
Yeah. And you do that yourself?
I do.
Is that what I saw? Was it a picture or
kettle.
video of you?
Yeah. So this is the bottle I did really quickly with the tea kettle. And I was doing it so quickly in an effort to get it here that it's a little bit wonky. But you can see how, I'm meticulous about...
everything.
Well, am I?
Yes, I think most people that know you would say you're meticulous about everything. All right, what is the surfboard? Where does the surfboard come from?
Okay.
How did that label come into being?
So when this was bottled, for example, these reds, stick them in the wine cellar, which I do, and then you're like, every time you go down, what's a surprise? And it's a year later, and the wine's better.
Right.
But whites, they are drinkable much earlier than reds. So this was bottled in 2016.
Yeah.
This was a Sauvignon Blanc. Mm-hmm. This was the year we actually built a house and moved, so there were some challenges there with my big Italian carboys. That sounds funny.
It sounds like my big fat Greek wedding.
So at the time, we have 6 children. We're a blended family, 6 children, and our children were located in Colorado, Kansas, California, and Missouri. Yeah. So now we would add Texas to that. My stepdaughter Samantha is in Texas. But here's some of the favorite things that our children like to do, and that's ski, golf, skateboard, and surf.
That's great. So you incorporated everybody's interests.
But my stepdaughters, they love to shop, and I failed to put a shopping bag on there. But it's really cool. And I put California Surfing Company. Yeah. This one is...
and by the way, we're at 20 minutes already, if you can believe that.
Well, we could go on all night.
Yeah, we can keep going.
But so I like the labels. They mean something to me. They're sentimental. Sentimental. So this, although bottled in 2016, remember we moved. We had some things in storage.
And that was an excellent year
for the Sauv Blanc.
For the Sauv Blanc, yeah.
So these came from grapes from the Lodi region of California, and I had a local company here crush the grapes for me.
What's that region like?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But just, it sounds really great.
You can Google it, everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
But this would have been drinkable, and it is drinkable, but this would have been, if I bottled this in...
I should bloody well hope it's drinkable.
Well, it's drinkable instantly.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
whereas
okay.
reds really mellow and really get a lot of goodness going on over time.
What's the sweet spot for, like, how long something ferments for? Does it depend on the grape? Does it depend on...
It does. And then you're
Okay.
always doing a test of the sugar levels and alcohol levels.
Right.
And you want to have those levels be appropriate before you move on to the next. And it's called racking.
Racking.
Each time
okay.
you rack the wine, which you siphon it out of one carboy into another, and then, mix your magic potion and then wait for the next step.
So you telling me that, like, it's not on your radar at all to do any more of this, or like at a future unnamed date you might
Oh, I am.
make some more? Yeah.
For fun.
Yeah, for fun.
It's for fun.
Yeah.
So, I go home and I make dinner almost every night. People will ask me, and my husband and I are empty nesters. People will say, "Where's your favorite restaurant?" Or "Where's your favorite Italian restaurant?" Or "Where's your favorite restaurant?" I go,
Yeah.
"My house."
Your
They're
house.
Like, "Oh, funny, haha." I'm like,
You're like,
"No,
no, I'm
not
serious.
funny, haha."
Do you think I'm joking?
Yeah. I like to cook, and whether it's as simple as something simple. I mean, I'm not in there,
Yeah.
doing crazy things and staying up all night. I'm about spent by 9 o'clock. So.
Have you made an Instagram account for your wines or anything like that? Why don't you make one and just
Why?
like, well, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen one day with this? I feel like everything you touch turns to gold.
If I had if I actually took the grapes, but it's just fun, and I just want to encourage other people. If you have bucket list items, do it now.
Yeah, do it tonight.
Like, what are you waiting for?
Yeah.
So this was a bucket list item. I
Yeah.
love that I checked that off my list. It's kind
Yeah.
of like, okay, I've done it. Good. I can talk the talk. I've done it.
You really take life by the horns, don't you? It's like whatever it is you're doing, you put your all into it, and it's probably why you're such a successful real estate professional. And I just congratulate you on this. It's like, wow,
Thank you.
that would be someone else's, that would take someone else like 25 years to get that done, but you're just out there you're a doer.
I'm surprised when I go downstairs and
Yeah.
walk into the wine cellar
Yeah.
and that whole rack is
It's stopped.
what I made. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my word.
Yeah.
When did I do that?
It's worth celebrating. Here, let's cheers for the end of this episode.
Thank you.
And in the next one, let's get more into real estate, and I want to hear more about your why and some more stories. But this is a great start.
Thanks for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Salute.
Yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one.